Hello, hello, hello. You are tuning into another episode of The Wunderkind Show. Today's topic, Mike Florio of PFT gets his answer he's been looking for from Lamar Jackson. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people don't even know who Mike Florio is. He is actually the owner of PFT. He came up with PFT. He was the main contributor for years for PFT. And then NBC bought out exclusive rights for his content while still him being the owner. So that's who Michael Florio is. And before he was ever a sports guy, he was a lawyer. A lawyer that dealt with a lot of those same agents he speaks so highly about. But I digress. So he came out on PFT and tried to drop knowledge that Lamar Jackson had missed out on big opportunities simply because he does not have an agent. And this deal has not been done simply because he doesn't have an agent. So without further ado, I'm going to play that and then you can tell me, guys, because we're going to dive in to see what we think about it. Here we go.
Those are all things that happen when you have an agent running the show. When it's just the player and a family member running the show, it's harder to replicate. It's impossible to replicate. They can't compete with what the best firms do, the experienced firms. I'm not saying just go out and hire any old agent.
Oh, yeah.
Hire one of the best quarterback agents out there.
Your friends.
It doesn't take many phone calls to figure out who they are. And he'd have had a contract by now. And it's a contract he'd be happy with. And this wouldn't be an issue. Oh, and by the way, he'd possibly have other contracts he'd be happy with.
That's
no contract he'd be happy with.
Right. I know, Mike.
That never gets discussed either.
No, well,
the contract that wasn't. Yeah. Because he doesn't have a marketing firm.
Right. Well, no, Mike, you've heard me a little through our text. I mean, that is one of the rumors that's out there.
Okay. Wait. You hear what he said after that had happened? That's one of the rumors out there. Mike Florio was speaking on it like it was fact. So there was somebody on Twitter, I believe his name's Garrett Ferguson. He reposted it, and it went viral. It went straight up viral. I'm talking about 7.9 million views on it and everything else. It went straight viral, and Lamar Jackson put the LeBron meme when LeBron was like, "What the?" to signify and to let us know that Mike Florio doesn't know what he's talking about. You know why this is a problem? Let me tell you why this is a problem. Because Mike Florio has been attacking Lamar since he came into the league. He has set precedent to make sure that he's going to go at this man. You know why? Because he was a lawyer to those agents. You understand? That's what Mike Florio was. He was a lawyer to those very agents. He had friendships with them. Their families go to weekends together. Weekend at Tiffany's. They go out, they eat, they know each other. So this guy's setting the precedent that, hey, maybe we might not need agents as much as possible. Puts his friends in a bind. Because think about it. I want everyone to understand this, right? You don't hear him talk about any other player that doesn't have a contract, that represents themselves. Richard Sherman and them, after he said that, it was a bad deal and everything else. But during this whole thing, he wasn't negating and saying, Richard Sherman needs all this representation. He wasn't saying it about Roquan Smith or anything like that. But Lamar, he takes it personal because quarterbacks are where the agents make the most money. That's where they earn their bonuses. That's where they earn those long vacations. That's where they earn those college money for them kids to go to those 4 or 5 year colleges, long range, Princeton. Listen, here's the thing. You know what makes them mad? That they don't know. I'm telling you, Lamar Jackson's probably at home laughing every day, watching them trying to decode, watching them trying to decipher, watching them trying to figure out everything that is going inside of his mind. Do you know that Lamar Jackson already came out and said his mom has nothing to do with negotiations? Do you know that? There's video of that. Do you notice how they still say it's his mother and family and everything else? Do you notice how they perpetuate lies? Because they have trouble finding the truth. But I digress. You know why that's a problem? Let me tell you why that's a problem. Because the Ravens know that. The Ravens are using guys like Mike Florio and these other guys that hate Lamar and what he stands for, what he's on the precipice of doing, and using them as ammunition to fuel public rage towards him. That's what it is. The Ravens, think about this. Even when Lamar was hurt, right? They all watch ESPN. They all have internet. They know what's trending. They have kids with Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. As much as Lacey's on the computer, you think EDC didn't hear what was going on? But guess what? They let it fester. You know why? Because they were trying to use public pressure against Lamar. Against Lamar. You know, I laugh at all these things like loudly. Like when I read some of the stuff that people be saying about Lamar, I go, ha, 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 ha. You know why I laugh like that? Let me tell you why I laugh like that. Because I had responded to somebody on Twitter, and I had said that the biggest competition to Mahomes is Lamar. Everybody with true football acumen should know that. Everyone's like, no, that's crazy. Burrow. And I said, look at what Lamar Jackson's had to deal with. Look at his win percentages, right? Look at his raw statistics. And then look at what he accounts for the team. And think about what he would look like with actual support. I said this in the last two videos. When the receiver market was booming, you remember when everybody thought Terry McLaurin wouldn't be back with Washington, when DJ Moore might not, when everyone thought he might not be back with the Panthers, when DK Metcalf was trying to get one, they thought he might not be back with the Seahawks, when Debo was with the San Francisco 49ers, they thought he might not go back to that team. Every single analyst said, do not let Lamar get any one of those guys because the league will pay for its insolence against him. You have to understand, Lamar Jackson's a one-man army, but a one-man in a team sport can only do so much. He can win you games. He can get you to the playoffs. He can even win you a playoff game. But when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, you need other players to make plays. You know what I said? I even wrote it down, man. I really wrote down everything that was wrong with the Ravens. Right? Because I look at some of these other teams and they're like, oh, well, Burrow doesn't have a great offensive line. So, I mean, but look, he wins. Do you know what Lamar Jackson has had to deal with being a Baltimore Raven QB1? Do you have any idea what he's had to put up with year in and year out? Well, let me tell you if you don't know. Lamar Jackson's had to play with centers that can't snap the ball, tackles that can't block, wide receivers that can't catch, coaches that can't coach, GMs that can't build a roster, and an owner that refuses to pay him his money. That's what he's had working against him. And yet, he's been the second winningest quarterback behind Mahomes. You would think he was barely making the playoffs. Right? This is why I say sometimes that, it's so frustrating being a Raven fan. Because for so many years we prayed. We said, oh my God, if we could just have a quarterback that some of those other teams have or the defenses that we always seem to put together, we would have something special. Something great. Something historical. And we get the guy that is absolutely generational. I read you off the stats the other day. throws 10 yards or more. He was 93.7 grade. And rushing, he's like a 92.2. We finally get the guy, and now it's, well, is he really worth the money? Oh. This is not fair. I wish I was a billionaire. I wish I owned the team. We wouldn't have these problems. But let me make sure that I platform into this. People like Mike Florio are given passes for what they say because the team gives them warrant to talk the way that they do. Everybody has to understand that the Ravens could quell. I want you to understand this, could quell 70% of what goes on with the Lamar Jackson situation. No team in the history of the NFL has had this much scrutiny with an MVP quarterback. None! It had to be the Ravens. And then on top of the Mike Florios and people making excuses for the GM missing out on picks, the coaches putting the wrong coaches in positions and stuff like that, right? The Ravens spent the least amount of money in the entire NFL on offense. Do you think, honestly, because some people say all I'm doing is screaming, I'm screaming a whole bunch of nonsense. That's fair, whatever. Please explain to me, does that sound like you're building a winner? Does that sound like you're committed to the quarterback? Does that sound like you're all in, chips pushed to the table when it comes to the guy that leads your team? Does it? Does it? Does it sound like that to you? Because it doesn't sound that way to me. And anybody that believes that needs this.
Stop it. Get some help.
And they need all the help they can get. You know what it is, the pain as a Raven fan going through the problem that we're going through? Huh? I be sleeping on my bed. Wife next to me sleeping. I'm like, and I just be having nightmares, and just yelling out of my sleep. Just yelling out. My wife's like, baby, wake up. You're having another nightmare. Babe, please, wake up. Screaming out. Mark my words. If Lamar leaves, Harbaugh's not surviving. For all the Harbaugh apologists out there, if Lamar Jackson gets traded, he doesn't survive. I give him 2 years at the max. EDC, he doesn't survive. I give him 3 years at the max. If Lamar Jackson is traded, Bisciotti doesn't last. Because you know what's going to do? His money that he gets yearly takes a plunge. That's what happens. So you know what he's going to do? He's going to say, I'm not winning. I already got one anyways. Let me just sell the team and make even more billions than I'm already worth. And I could just count my blessings that I didn't have to pay this young man any money. And I could just take my things and go to an island and get a tan every day and go, hooray, I'm rich. And guess who's left holding that baggage? The fans. The fans. That means the same people that hate this platform for speaking on what we speak on will be left holding the check while everybody else gets to leave. They ate their bellies full. That shrimp, that lobster and steak with the extra mushroom sauce. Oh yeah, they ate they belly full. And they said, my mans, to the fans, y'all got that, bro. They went to the bathroom and you never seen them again. And guess what? Guess what? You got to pay that bill either by washing those dishes or pulling out whatever out of your savings to cover it, because guess what? Now the fans have to hold it accountable. Oh! And that's the God honest truth. The sad part is a lot of people fail to realize that. They fail to realize that. You don't get it? Like, I said this yesterday, and a lot of people, look, you got to understand something. Lamar Jackson was a hit lottery ticket. That's what he is. That's what he was. That's what he represents. The Ravens went to the draft. Got a player last in the draft who was an Heisman winner and should have been a back-to-back Heisman winner, right? Okay. And then gets him on the team. And he comes out, ends up being an MVP. A guy that had been on pace twice for 6,000 yards total in a season. Hey, you think that that's replicable? You think you could just go to the draft and find somebody else? Oh, no. We won with the draft, guys. But here go back the money. Let's buy a whole bunch more draft capital. Oh, yeah. Give me all those lotto tickets. Give me. Right? That's what they were doing. And then saying, we bought so much, we got to hit it again. I would love for somebody to actually make a numerical value on how many quarterbacks have been taken in the draft all time and how many have actually turned into all pros. I put money on it, it's not even 10%. I put money on it, it's way less than 10%. I know it is. Sickening. But you know what? I got to shout out Lamar. Oh, and I want to make sure I say this too before we close, right? Because no one said this, right? You see how quickly Lamar Jackson, right, answered about the Mike Florio thing when it was like, like, he missed out on a shoe deal because he don't got representation, right? You notice how fast Lamar Jackson himself quelled that argument on social media? You notice how fast? Do you notice he didn't do the same thing for Stephen A. Smith? And you know that was trending. Do you guys notice how he said nothing? Because remember, Stephen A. said he got it from Lamar's camp themselves. His camp, Lamar's camp. Lamar said nothing. Every time people have spoken direct lies about him, he's addressed it. He even had to address his injury. Because his team wouldn't, and then lied to us and said, that's against the law for us to speak on injury. When coaches are one of the people that are allowed to do it and been doing it for years. You notice how he said nothing. He never said he was lying. He was quick to jump on Mike Florio. And remember, Stephen A. has been against Lamar from the beginning. So Lamar would love to go against him, right? Why wouldn't he go against him knowing that it's a lie if it was a lie? When he called it and said it was Lamar's camp that got in touch with him personally. Oh. Answer that. Geniuses on social media that think the organization is as squeaky clean as the garment of Jesus Christ itself. Go ahead. Because that's the funny part, right? We've seen people lie. We've seen Lamar answers. He'll be like, let me make sure I address this before it gets too out of hand. He addresses all the stuff that's been lying about him. Shannon Sharp has something to say, he addressed him. Mike Florio, he addressed him. The culture refused to tell him about the thing, he addressed them. Stephen A. says his camp got in touch with me personally and said they never asked for a fully guaranteed contract. And Lamar is quiet, mumbles, nothing to say. And then people are saying it has to be a lie. sounds to me you guys don't like the truth. And as long as you don't like the truth, you're going to hate hashtag Team Wunderkind, because everybody that watches this platform, this channel, we deal in nothing but truths. And you can put that on anything. And that was another episode of the Wunderkind Show. Man, thank you guys for watching. You know I love you. And look, what's it called? I want to thank everybody that's put the time and effort into watching the content, sharing the content. I see y'all on Twitter defending your boy. I want to say thank you. Hashtag Team Wunderkind all the way. All the way. All the way. And shout outs to Ing Raven. He's going through a lot. I want everybody, if you can, if you know, go out, help, subscribe, do whatever you need to do to help that man. He's one of the forefathers of this Ravens content creators, and he's been nothing but a gracious guy, not only to this platform, but to me personally. So please, if you have any help, please help him out. Great dude, great work, great content. And for whoever's first watching this platform, please remember, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment so we can talk to each other down there, right? So we can have good conversations. Disagree, agree, either way, just be cordial, and there's no problems here. And if you would like to help this platform grow monetarily, at the bottom of the screen is a QR code to a Cash App. And also in the description is the Cash App, # The Wunderkind Show. So once again, this is The Wunderkind Show. This is your host, Nitro, signing off. And as always, you guys knows my slogan. Peace. And I'm out. Yeah.